Hi, Demon fans. Welcome to the Inside Demon Athletics. I'm your host, Madison Murphy. I'm a senior on the women's soccer team here at NSU, and my goal is to bridge the gap between Northwestern State fans and student athletes. Each week, we will recap games from the previous week and interview a player or players to give you a different view of the game. I think it's important for athletes to share their perspective and allow fans to hear an insider's point of view. This past Saturday, the Demons volleyball team played their first scrimmage of the season against the LA Tech Bulldogs. The Lady Demons started strong, winning the first set, but came up short in the next three sets, even after fighting their way back in the fourth set, closing a 9-point deficit. Volleyball will head to Tennessee to play in the Battle of the Rhone starting August 29th. Meanwhile, the Lady Demons soccer team posted a 3-1 win over Alcorn State. Today I'm here with goalkeeper Kennedy Rist. Kennedy is a redshirt junior goalkeeper from Palm Harbor, Florida. Let's hear what she has to say about the Demons' first 4 games of the season. So, Kennedy, you guys started off the season with a huge matchup against the reigning SEC champs in Texas. This was also the first start of your career here at NSU. What emotions and thoughts were going through your head leading up to your first start?
Honestly, I was just very excited to play such a high-level team and to play with my teammates. We all worked really, really hard during preseason, so I was just very excited for us to see how we were going to play as a team and all of our hard work paying off.
I'm sure it was pretty nerve-wracking too, considering Texas was ranked before we played them, a top 20 Division I NCAA team. Those nerves must have completely left your body when you stepped on the pitch because you posted 13 saves, tying the NSU goalkeeper saves in a single game record. How did this showing affect your confidence and goals going forward?
I mean, when I was in the game, I didn't realize that I made that many saves. I was just kind of locked into the moment. But I definitely do think it's a confidence booster to be able to come in, especially as my first start at NSU, and to be able to make that many saves and to beat such a high quality team. It definitely boosts your confidence.
Yeah, your 13 saves ultimately helped the team pull the upset against Texas with a 3-2 victory. How did it feel to beat a team that everyone expected you to lose to?
I think it's honestly the best feeling in the world. I think coming into the game, I think everyone as a team, we all really wanted to beat them, but we also came in with the idea that, we had nothing to lose. So just being able to beat a team like Texas, I think definitely is a great start to the season and shows our potential as a team and what we're able to do.
Yeah, I think as an athlete going into games where you're not expected to win is kind of freeing. Those nerves that you get in conference play aren't really there. You're kind of just excited because you're given the opportunity to go beat a team, but if you don't, no one's gonna be mad.
No, absolutely.
And then as an athlete, I know it's common after a big win like this to get a big head. How did you ensure the team stayed grounded and focused on the next matchup?
I think all of us, I especially as we've been working towards the start of the season, just bonding in general, just us having those conversations of being hey, we got to just focus on each match ahead of us. Yeah, it was a great win and it was a great opportunity, but I think after that win, after we let it settle in, it was just more focusing on how can we continue this strength and this positive energy going forward.
So 2 days after playing Texas, y'all went on to play another Power Four opponent in the ACC in SMU. Y'all had another great showing. I mean, y'all came up short in a 2-0 loss, but the game seemed pretty even. Can you talk me through any of the events of that game?
Yeah, I think we played really, really well. I think we played just as hard as we did in Texas. Obviously, we did come up short. But I still think, we learned, there was a lot to learn from that game. But, you're not going to win everything. Stuff happens. But I just think in general, we played very, very well. And it was positive overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was I'm sure it was hard to go beat Texas and then go play SMU and lose, and you're on a high, and then you're quickly crushed again. I don't know. I feel like if y'all would have taken that one at SMU, do you think your mindset going into season would be different?
That's hard to say. You could do what ifs to everything. I think it obviously would have been another huge confidence booster to beat an ACC team following Texas. Obviously that's not how it played out, but I still think, we have that mindset that no matter after every game, the second you step off that pitch, you just got to focus on the next one and focus on improving and moving forward.
So speaking of the next game, y'all then went on to play Tarleton State, and that game was quite eventful. Can you walk me through what happened during that game?
I mean, I've never experienced anything like that. That was absolutely insane. Basically we come onto the pitch, we play 10 minutes, and then we get delayed for lightning. And then the delay just keeps happening and happening. And then an hour and 45 minutes later, our coaches come to the locker room and tell us, we have 5 minutes, we have to step on the pitch. And then we step on the pitch, we get 5 minutes to warm up after not moving, doing anything for almost 2 hours. And then we make it through majority of the game until I think it was 30. We were at the 30-minute mark into the second half, and then the lights go out. And then that didn't get fixed for another 30 minutes. And then we get, I think it was like 15 minutes left into the game before they call it. And we just barely made the 70-minute mark before they can actually count the game. But it was the longest game ever. I don't think the game ended till 11. We didn't get home till 6 a.m. It was just the craziest game of soccer I think we've ever played.
Yeah, the game ended 0-0, but I don't think that was a true showcase of y'all's talents
No,
against
definitely
that
not.
team because of the unforeseen circumstances. So luckily, y'all were able to come home after Tarleton, and you don't have to worry about the lights going out anymore. Y'all played Alcorn State at home this past Sunday, and y'all got the win 3-1 over them. But in the 60th minute, it was 2-1. We were up by 1 goal, and the other team received a penalty kick. And you did what I believe to be the hardest thing in soccer, which is save a PK. Walk me through this moment and the emotions after.
Yeah, so I think with moments like this, especially when we are up 2-1, PKs are definitely, a make or break type of thing. Like they can change the trajectory of the game. But I was just so locked into the moment that, when she stepped up for that PK, I just kept telling myself, I'm gonna save it. Like there's no question to it. Like I have to save it. And, luckily I was able to do that. And it was just a great feeling to be able to, preserve that 2-1, especially since it was, close to the end of the game. And it just definitely, it's an adrenaline boost, it raises your confidence. And it's just, honestly, it was just such a great feeling.
Yeah, I think it definitely put some energy back into the team. I think the heat was getting to everyone. But after that, we're like, okay, she made the save. Now we need to do our part. So moving on from that, the Southland Conference has adopted a new schedule format this season where games are now played on Thursdays and Sundays opposed to Fridays and Sundays. How is the team adjusting to this change? And what do you think are the positive impacts and the negative aspects?
Yeah, I think honestly, overall, it's a very positive change. I know most conferences in the country do it, and I think it's very good in terms of recovery, both physically and mentally. I think the downsides to it are class conflicts. I know at least for me personally, a lot of my classes are Wednesday, Thursday, so it's definitely makes it a lot more difficult academically. But from an overall standpoint, I think it's a pretty positive change.
All right, that's good to hear. I agree. Having that extra day of recovery is just insanely helpful. You don't realize it until you get it. And now that we have it this year, I think it's going to be great. Now that we are a few games into season, what do you guys think you're capable of this year?
I think we're capable of winning the conference and, making a run in the NCAA tournament, especially after that win with Texas. You can definitely see our potential as a team and our chemistry. And I think we have a chance to, make a really good run this season, win that ring, and definitely make, an impact in the NCAA tournament.
It's ring season for sure. And then I would like to end every episode with a fun and lighthearted question. What is your go-to pregame snack?
I eat a lot of gummies before the game, just any form of sugar I can find. That's what I'm eating before a game.
That's good. Quick energy. Thank you, Kennedy, for joining me for the first ever episode of Inside Demon Athletics. And thank you for listening. Tune in next week to hear from our very own football player about their first game of the 2025 season. Bye, and as always, Fork 'em Demons.